Today I want to talk about something that can be a little bit complex. I want to talk about narcissists. How do we recognize them? How do we deal with them? How do we avoid them? So, if you think that maybe you're constantly attracting narcissists into your life, maybe you're dealing with a narcissist now, maybe it's your parents, your partner, your friends, your coworkers, then keep watching. I would love to give you some tips and tricks on how to better handle having them in your life and how to avoid them altogether. I feel like the word narcissist has become extremely popular these last few years on social media and just in general. It's become just such a thing to call people a narcissist. But what is a narcissist? How do you know if you're dealing with one? How do you know if you have one in your life? It can be really difficult and challenging to determine the difference between somebody just being rude and mean and hard to deal with versus actually being a narcissist. Because there are certain things that determine if somebody is a narcissist. And it's really important to note that we should not just go around calling anybody a narcissist or just assuming that people are narcissists. I'm going to talk about things that are common in narcissists, but it is important to note that not everybody in your life that is mean or negative or toxic is a narcissist. With that being said, let's get started. You think you have a narcissist in your life. How do we know for sure? One of the biggest thing is narcissists struggle with boundaries. So when you determine a boundary that you have, a narcissist is not only going to undermine your boundary, they're going to manipulate you, they're going to gaslight you, they're going to make you feel crazy, and they're going to probably flip that boundary, and you're going to leave the situation feeling guilty, like you did something wrong or like you're the one who crossed the boundary when you're not. When you didn't even do anything wrong in the first place. Narcissists thrive off of emotional manipulation. That is how they kind of hold control over people. Narcissists tend to play the victim in almost every situation, especially the ones where they did something wrong to you. So a super common one, and one that I know I've experienced, is like if you're in a relationship with a narcissist and they, let's say, cheated on you, they're gonna find a way to make it your fault that they cheated on you. So that's just an example of them playing the victim when they clearly did something wrong. They are very commonly going to demean you. They'll call you names. They'll make you feel bad about yourself. They will constantly be undermining you and making you feel like just less than, unworthy, and just like really, really bad. And they're going to be blaming you for their behavior time and time again. So they're doing something wrong, but it's somehow always your fault. Another thing about narcissists is they are deeply insecure. But the thing about it is they come off as very confident people. They come across as very put together, well-framed human beings, but deep down they are very, very insecure. So narcissists fear people seeing who they really are. They want to come across as like great people. They want everyone to think that they're these really good guys or girls, that they're amazing people, that they're really kind and genuine. And their biggest fear is people seeing what's underneath their mask. So insecurity is a big factor for narcissists. That's why a lot of the times when your relationship or friendship with a narcissist comes to an end, they turn into this big, scary, mean person that you're like, who the heck is this? And that's because at the very end, when, you know, they kind of realize, okay, the gig is up, this person sees who I truly am, everything kind of unleashes. And they're like, all right, they see who I really am, like there's no point in hiding. And it all kind of breaks loose, and you see them for who they really are, and they kind of give up hiding who they are, and the real them comes out. So that's why for me, when I ended my relationship the last few weeks, they were just awful, terrible. And I think it's because they kind of deep down knew the gig was up. I kind of saw them for who they were. There was no point hiding it anymore. That facade was done. And like other people might still believe the fake face that they put on, but I knew who they were. And there was no point hiding it anymore. And so they were very mean to me at the end. Very, very, I mean, they were mean to me the whole relationship, but at the very end, they were very, very mean to me because I knew who they were, and there's no hiding it anymore. So at the very end of your friendship or relationship, when kind of all falls apart, they're done hiding, and it kind of all comes crashing out. So let's talk about, if narcissists are so bad, how do people get sucked into these relationships and friendships with them in the first place? Narcissists prey on empaths, and I'm not saying that every relationship is narcissist and empath, but it's very, very common. narcissists have a very strong sense of self, or they come across at least as they have a very strong, confident sense of who they are. Empaths really like that. Narcissists are, secure in who they are and are actually very controlling, and empaths don't have that strong frame, but they feel people's energies, and they're attracted to that strong frame and that strong sense of self. They're kind of almost envious, and they're attracted to that confidence that the empath portrays that they have. And the empath also just wants to make the narcissist happy. So they're constantly trying to make them happy. They're constantly trying to do more and more and more to make the narcissist happy, even though, the more that they do, it kind of seems to slowly become like it's not enough. And at first, the first little bit of the relationship, the narcissist isn't going to show their true colors, because that's how they kind of rope them in, right? So nobody who would see a narcissist's true colors at first would probably get into the relationship with them or the friendship with them in the first place, because if you saw those true colors, you'd be like, yeah, I'm good. I don't want to entertain that. That's crazy. So it is kind of a facade at first. The narcissist is going to put on the show, is going to kind of pick up on all of the things that they can tell the empath wants to see and the empath likes, and put that show on so that the empath is like, okay, yeah, this is exactly what I want. I love this. I love what I'm seeing. And then over time, it's kind of going to fall away. But by the time that it falls away, it's kind of going to be too late, where you're already in deep enough in that relationship or friendship where you can't just kind of walk away. And the empath always wanting to make the narcissist happy, a big thing with that is a lot of the time that stems from childhood. We always wanted to make our parents happy as kids, and we were always trying to do something to make our parents accept us and happy, and we wanted to make our parents love us. So like we would, always strive for their acceptance, and we kind of bring that into adulthood with us. When we have narcissistic parents, we attract narcissistic partners and friendships as adults. It brings that I want to make them happy that we had for our parents into these relationships that we have as adults. So something super interesting is, there are 4 main attachment styles that come with attracting narcissists, but the main 2 are anxious attachments and avoidant attachments. Anxious attachments, those resulted from having narcissistic parents. It's that need for the conditional love and that reassurance. You need that validation, having inconsistent love as a child. So that's what you're kind of used to and searching for as an adult. Your emotional needs were often overlooked and not met, and so that's what your kind of your acceptance of love is as an adult. So that's what you're used to. You're not sure of love and support, and when people don't give you consistent love and support, that's normal for you. And so that's why these people who are giving you inconsistent love and aren't loving and supporting you the way you deserve, that's all normal to you. So these people are giving you the same types of love and support that you received as a child. And that's why, our parents who are narcissists, who are giving us inconsistent love and support as children, put that bar right here for us. So our anxious attachment resulted from our parents not giving us the proper validation and reassurance as children, which followed us into adulthood. And now that's the standard that we have for ourselves in relationships and friendships. With anxious attachment, you have a consistent fear of rejection and abandonment. So you're constantly trying harder to earn the love and affection of your partner or friendship or parents or whatever. So the more that you fear being abandoned, no matter how mean they are to you, no matter how poorly they're treating you, no matter how, unsure you are of their love and affection, you're going to keep trying harder to earn it because you're so afraid of that abandonment and rejection, and you don't want them to leave you. No matter how poor that level of love is, it's better than nothing. You don't want them to leave you no matter what. You're going to keep trying harder. You're always trying to earn that love and affection. No matter how negative it may be, it's still love and affection in some aspect. You're so afraid to lose it. That is that anxious attachment. The other end of this is avoidant attachment. So this is as a kid, your parents were super distant emotionally from you. You didn't have that close emotional bond. You learned to be super independent emotionally, and that it wasn't safe to be super close emotionally to your parents. So growing up to have avoidant attachment is you feel safer when you don't get super emotionally attached to people. You feel safer when you find people who mirror that inavailability to be emotionally attached. That space for independence that you create emotionally, it allows you to avoid vulnerability and closeness with people, and that gives you that safe feeling of no one can hurt you if you don't get close to them. So that's that avoidant attachment that we bring with us, kind of the opposite of that anxious attachment, where it's like, I don't care, I don't need anybody, stay away from me. Like, you put that wall up of emotions. And that is kind of the other end of what draws narcissist people into your life. How can we avoid having these narcissists hurt us, right? How can we avoid having these relationships in our lives? Number one is increasing your self-worth and your self-value. Narcissists feed off of people who are insecure, people who don't value themselves, because they know that they can prey on you. If you don't value yourself, you're going to be codependent on them, always dangling that carrot in front of you of that little bit of love that they make it seem like they can give you, that little bit of acceptance that you're always craving, that they never quite fully give you, but they dangle that carrot in front of you of like, I almost accept you, and you're gonna constantly be chasing that. So when narcissists kind of can sniff out people who feel bad about themselves or who don't fully love and accept themselves, those are the types of people that they really, really prey on. So developing that love and acceptance of yourself is a big way to keep yourself from falling victim to narcissist people. Another thing is looking for red flags off the bat. This can be really hard because, like I said, narcissists tend to mask really, really well in the beginning because they want to fool you, they want to trick you, they want to kind of rope you in. So finding those little red flags are really, really important. If you do see something that sticks out, or you trust your gut, if something seems just a little bit off, just a smidge off, trust your gut. That means something's not right. Don't make excuses for it. Don't rationalize, oh, they're probably doing it because of this, or I probably did this wrong. Trust your gut. Do not let these red flags slip. Trust it in the beginning, because if you don't trust it in the beginning, they are going to intensify 10 times more down the road. In the beginning is the most important time to catch these red flags. The next thing is do not overshare. Oversharing is how they weaponize you. So they'll take anything that you overshare and use it against you in the future. So if you say that, you had daddy issues, they're going to, down the road, they could say, well, no wonder your dad left you. That's just obviously an example. But anything you say can and will be used against you when it comes to a narcissist. They are spidey sensing every little thing that you say in order to use it against you down the road. So do not overshare. Avoid oversharing with people in the beginning until you can assure that they are safe people to have in your life. The next most important thing to do is establish boundaries. If somebody has an issue with any boundaries that you establish, that's a big red flag as far as narcissism goes. Nobody should have an issue with something that you determine to be a boundary. If they continue to cross this boundary, if they argue the boundary, if they flip the boundary into something that you did wrong, if they sit here and say that you have no right making that a boundary, any issues with boundaries, kick them to the curb, they're gone. They're done. Do not even argue it. Do not waste your time. Do not entertain it. It is over. That is a huge red flag when it comes to narcissists. They love to overstep boundaries. They love to argue boundaries. That is one of the biggest things when it comes to narcissists. So establishing boundaries right away, sticking firm to them. If they have an issue with them, kick them to the curb. They are gone. Your boundaries are so important. Even if it's a minor boundary, do not let up on it. Nobody is more important than your boundaries. The next thing is know what you will and will not put up with. Keep it firm, just like with the boundaries. Do not let up on it. If you're willing to put up with something, make sure that it's worth it. Just make a list right away of things that you're not willing to budge on. Like, if you're not willing to budge on somebody texting other females or other males, then do not let up on it. Don't let them make excuses for it. Do not justify their actions. If that's something that you determine in the beginning is something you're not willing to let up on, then it's not something you're willing to let up on, and leave it there. There are so many people on this planet. You have so many options for partners, relationships, friendships. There's no reason to sit here and let one person convince you that you need to let up on this one thing when there's millions of people who have no problem honoring what you will or will not put up with. Do not let somebody convince you that what you will or will not put up with is or is not justifiable. You know in your heart what you do and do not feel comfortable with. Do not let anybody get in your head and change that. Walk into it knowing what you do and do not feel comfortable with. The next one, and this one is like probably the most important, enough with the second chances. If I could go back in time and tell myself one of these things, it would be this one. Stop with the second chances. One chance, that's it. Second chance after second chance after second chance. Stop with the second chances. It's gonna continue. No second chance is gonna change them. They are going to continue the same behavior over and over again. No more second chances. Trust your gut. If they do something wrong, end it there and move on to the next. No person is worth it. No person. I don't care how bad it hurts. I don't care how heartbroken you are. No person is worth a million second chances ever. No more second chances. I don't know how many more times I can say it. No more second chances. And with that is stop making excuses. I did this for so many years. I would make excuses and rationalizations for their behavior. I would sit and say, well, I did this. This was my fault. Or, oh, they did this because of this. Or, you know, if I wouldn't have done this, they wouldn't have done this. Stop with the rationalization and excuses for them. They are grown people. They have zero reason to do the things that they did. They knew what they were doing. Like I said earlier, there are millions of people who would do a million more things for you. You do not have to ask for the bare minimum. There are people who will go above and beyond for you. Stop making excuses for their poor behavior. Stop making excuses for people hurting you, crossing your boundaries, manipulating you, abusing you mentally, verbally, physically, anything. Stop making excuses. Stop making rationalizations. Narcissists feed off of that, and they know that you will keep making excuses for it. They know that they can keep getting chance after chance from you. They know that you will not walk away. They know that you are loyal. Do not mistake loyalty for abuse and manipulation. It is not the same thing. Do not let somebody continue to hurt you and say that you're just super loyal. I did that for years and it hurt me. Do not continue to make excuses for somebody's poor behavior when it is just wasting your time, wasting your life, and hurting you and depleting you of your energy and resources. It's just setting you back in life. The next one is the second that you notice you're being gaslit, walk away. Do not put up with gaslighting, because gaslighting does not stop until you leave. Until you leave the relationship or friendship, that gaslighting will continue and continue and continue until it drives you crazy. These people know, and they will not ever admit that they're gaslighting you. Nobody will admit that they're lying. Nobody will admit that they're gaslighting you. Nobody will admit that they're wrong. The gaslighting will not stop. The second that you even suspect you're being gaslit, walk away, because you're never going to get okay, I'm sorry, you're right, I lied, I'm sorry, I gaslit you, I'm sorry this happened. You're not going to get it. Cut your losses, walk away. Do not continue to endure this behavior. Narcissists are master gaslighters. They will never admit they're wrong. They will never admit that they lied. They will continue to gaslight, and then when that gaslight doesn't work, they'll gaslight to gaslight that, and then they'll gaslight to gaslight that to gaslight that, and it will not stop. The second that you suspect you're being gaslit, you are done. You are walking away, cutting your ties, quit giving them access to you. You are done. The next one is one that I can't stand this one. A lot of narcissists have this energy that with so many words that they'll come across, they're not going to say it up front like this, but they have this energy like, you're just so lucky to have me. You're so lucky to be in my presence. And again, most of the time, sometimes they do say it, but most of the times they're not going to up front say that. But a lot of the times narcissists will act like you're just so lucky to be in their presence, right? And then you'll get into an argument or a fight or whatever, and they won't text you back, and then you'll feel like you're going crazy, and you'll want to text them a million times, and then they'll make you feel crazy for wanting to text them, right? This is a classic narcissist move. So they'll give you the cold shoulder, and you'll have to beg them to respond. Don't do it. Don't feed into it. Don't text them back. They will go crazy, and then when you don't respond, they'll flip and they'll start to be like, okay, so you can't text me back, and trust me, it works 100% of the time. Just don't respond. It's not worth it. That's very toxic behavior, very unhealthy behavior. Don't feed into that. If you experience that, time to go. Leave them. You do not need that. Another super important thing is, if you are starting to talk to somebody and it's in the very beginning, whether it's a friendship or relationship, usually relationship, and you experience that, oh my God, we have this amazing connection. We just are getting along so great right off the bat. Things are moving so fast. You know, you're experiencing love bombing. You know, they're just so amazing and you have this magical connection. Big red flag. Big red flag. The sooner that you guys move and the sooner that they can get you locked into this relationship, the sooner that you're done for. Then once you're locked in, they know that they have you. That mask can fall and you're already locked in and you can't walk away. You know, the love bombing is one way to get you locked in faster. If you are noticing that you're saying things like you have this magical connection or you just click or things are just moving so fast, that is when you know that you need to pay attention. That is a red flag. They want you to feel seen. They want you to think that you are just taken aback by their amazing presence. They want you to feel like you are swept off your feet. And that's a huge tactic by narcissists, because once they have you, and you're kind of stuck in. So be super hyper aware of things like that. And the last one is be aware of them talking about the future, of them saying someday, and especially them incorporating your future plans into the future. This is, again, how they lock you in and trick you into thinking, you know, that you guys have this big future together and that things are going to fall into place and that you have this amazing future planned and that things are just going to be okay, that someday. I experienced this personally, and it is what kept me into this relationship for so long, and it's what made it so hard to get out. That's how they lock you in and they trick you and they make you think that, you know, you're in the relationship that's meant for you forever and that they're just this perfect person. Be aware of those things. And that's hard because the right relationship for you should have good future plans, right? So make sure that when you're making these future plans that there are actionable steps to get there, not just them fantasizing, talking about, oh yeah, we're gonna do this and you're gonna get your whatever you're wanting. Make sure that there's actual steps being taken to get there and that they have an actual plan. If not, it's all a facade and it's not real. And make sure that they are actually valuing what you want out of this relationship as well. Not just trying to lock you in and tell you what you want to hear. You know, don't be tricked by that someday facade that they're putting in front of you. I really hope that you were able to gain a little bit of knowledge from this video. I hope that you were able to benefit and understand a little bit more about narcissists. I hope that if you're experiencing a narcissist in your life, you know that it is not your fault. You didn't do anything wrong and that there are ways out and that you're not stuck. Always remember that you are stronger than whatever you're going through and that there is support out there and there are ways out. Just like and subscribe. I would love to have you along on this journey. Other than that, I will see you in the next one. Bye.